welcome back to your hour. Joining me now is Paul Rosales from Remax Realty Professionals, and it's time for everybody to do their taxes.
Yes, yes.
So
That fits with that segment you guys had on the news today.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people, they realize they're going to get money back, and what do they want to do with the money? Instead of throwing your money away on something frivolous like,
New clothes.
Yeah, new wardrobe is what I was going to say. Something like a new wardrobe
Shoes.
shoes, going out to eat a lot, or buying a new big screen TV when your current big screen TV is working just fine. If they're in a situation where they're renting, one of the best financial moves that they can make is to go on ahead and buy a house. Because literally every time you make a rent payment, you're that much more poor. You're not benefiting in any way from making any kind of rental payment. When you buy your own house, you're paying yourself. You're starting to accumulate your own personal wealth within the house. We call it equity. One of the best things that you can do is this time of year you get your taxes done, you figure out how much you're getting. Give me a call. Once we understand how much money you have for purchasing a house, if it's not quite enough, I'll start going down some of the avenues to where we can find out where we can find money through various programs to help you.
You can find money?
Yeah. When I read, I tend to find money, so I should read every day. Yeah, but if you don't quite have enough money, I think I've spoken before, maybe a couple of weeks ago, about some of the money programs out there that actually provide you money for things like closing costs and down payment. Programs. There's one out there that gives you up to $2,500 to buy a house. Another one that can give you up to $4,000, and the biggest one I found so far will give you up to $9,000 to purchase a home. So if you can buy, it's a pretty good amount of money.
That's significant, yeah.
If you buy a $100,000 house, that's almost 10% of the purchase price is provided to you. And that's, we all need an uncle like that.
Does that have to be repaid?
It depends on the program.
Okay.
Not all of them. Each one has different stipulations. If you move in and you move out 6 months later, you probably will have to pay something back. But each program is going to have different stipulations on it. But if you find that you've got some money from your tax return, and then you have other money coming in from some of these other programs, or maybe you can even get into a zero money down type program, there's a way, once you get your hands on your tax return, to be able to use that to buy a house. Even if we do get into a zero money down program, you can use your tax money to buy the new furnishings and things like that. Because usually, when somebody buys a house, in most cases, they're getting into something bigger. So this way you'll be able to afford to fill up the house if you're going to be using your tax return.
And even if you're not buying a bigger house, you might still want to put something a little more up, more up to date in it.
Right. If you want to do some home renovations or something like that, you want to change some colors, you want to change some carpet, that's a real good time to do it, because you do get that money once a year, that you get that bucket of money back that you've actually lent to the government. They're paying you back the loan, even though you're not making any interest on it. That's your money that you prepaid to them, and they're just kind of holding it for you, and they give it back to you once a year. But it's a once-a-year type situation. With the way we have interest rates right now, they're super, super low. That allows you to buy more house per dollar. 3 or 4 years ago, when we had 6-7% interest rates, you would be paying something like, for a $100,000 house, you might be paying $1,000 a month. Nowadays, with the super low interest rates, you might be somewhere around $700 for the same $100,000 house.
That makes a difference.
Yeah, I mean, literally, if you're sitting at 3% interest right now, depending on the loan that you get, and 3 or 4 years later you're paying 6.5, your interest rate's cut in half. And that really does make a difference. So when you combine your tax return along with some of the home buyer funding programs that I've uncovered, as well as the low interest rates that we have right now, it's a good time to be a buyer in this market, because there's so much out there available for you to take advantage of.
Well, and does it make sense to try to refinance your house under those circumstances?
Depends. You kind of have to ask yourself how long you're going to be in a house. If you're going to be in a house for a while, generally the rule of thumb that I hear is 5 years. If you're going to be in your house for another 5 years, and if your charges for refinancing aren't too high, then it's something to look at. But if you're only going to be in your house for a few more years, you also have to weigh how much it's going to cost you to refi. So it just kind of depends. Each person's situation is going to be different in a refinance situation. But if you do refinance, it allows you to accumulate more equity faster, because you'll be paying a less interest rate, a lower interest rate, I should say. There's a lot of houses on the market right now. Wichita market fluctuates. We have anywhere from 3,500 to 4,500 houses on the market for people to pick from. That's
quite a few.
yeah, we seem to have about the same, roughly, give or take a few hundred, we seem to average out about the same number of houses on the market year after year after year. We fluctuate a
It's
little
not the
bit.
same houses, is it?
It just depends. Sometimes it can be. I'll go through a house and 3 years later there's that house again. Somebody gets transferred or something like that.
Sure.
Yeah,
Sure.
or unfortunately foreclosures. And speaking of foreclosures, you can take the combination of your tax return, low interest rates, and foreclosure prices on houses, as well as the home buyer programs that I've talked about. It's a great combination. You get a great price on a house. You get money to help you buy it. You can best utilize, leverage your tax return, as well as get the interest rates that are out there right now.
Wow.
So
It
it's-
almost pays you to move in.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't make sense if you're going to move into another apartment or something like that. It can actually cost you less to buy a house than it does to rent an apartment or rent a house. If you can get a zero money down, or if the money can be provided through some of the programs I talked about. So I don't know of any rental programs. Yeah.
None. I haven't heard of any either. Well, thanks for joining us. Do you want to stick around for movies?
Sure, sounds like fun.
We'll be back in a couple of minutes with movie releases, so stay with us.